Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And I've mentioned in a few of my previous videos that my favorite writer, at least for the NFL, would have to be ESPN's Bill Barnwell. I feel like during the season, he'll write about 2 articles a week. And during the off season, usually one. But they're very lengthy, but definitely excellent reads almost every time. And something he's done annually since 2017 is name teams that he believes in the NFL are most likely to increase their win total, and teams that are most likely to see their win total decrease from the previous season. This year, he did 5 teams to increase, 5 teams to decrease. So I thought we'd take a look at them. And if you wonder how accurate he's been, so again, he's done this since 2017. 27 of the 33 teams he predicted that have better records did so. I went 4-0 last year. Likewise for the teams to decline. 27 of the 33 teams he predicted to do worse did. He went 3-1 last year. So he picked 4 teams for each last year. 5 this year. It's an ESPN Plus article, so I'm not going to share it, but I'll list the teams. So he uses things such as point differential, record in games decided by 7 or fewer points, projected strength of schedule, even things such as a team being lucky. I mean, he's noticed that it's not necessarily a skill to recover fumbles. So if a team, let's say, recovers 70+% of the fumbles in a season, he thinks that'll regress more to the mean, as will their record in games decided by 7 or fewer points. Turnover margin. He mentions how teams that are near the top often aren't near the top the following year. But anyhow, these are the 5 teams that he predicts the win totals to improve on from next season. Of course, the Chargers now have Jim Harbaugh as the head coach. You just wonder who Justin Herbert's number 1 wide receiver will be, if Quentin Johnston could improve on a miserable rookie season. Bill Belichick era is over in New England. Welcome to the Gerard Mayo era. New head coach. Really struggled last year, but still have one of the better defenses, and Mayo was under Belichick for so long, you figure he should be able to instill some of the defensive prowess that Belichick's teams had. The Commanders, of course, drafted Jaden Daniels as the quarterback, starting quarterback. He will start from the get-go. Drake May was drafted by the Patriots, although many believe Jacoby Brissett will start this season. Kansas City Chiefs going for their 3rd straight Super Bowl win. 11-6 actually was a disappointing regular season. I mean, the wide receivers cost the Chiefs a couple games, including the opener against the Detroit Lions and the Arizona Cardinals, who were basically without Kyler Murray for the first half of the season, just won 1 game. Believe they went either 3-4 or 3-5, something like that, with Kyler Murray under center. So if he can stay healthy, and if you're wondering about so I also checked over unders for the 10 teams that he mentioned. So Chargers 8.5. That's 3.5 wins more than they had last year. But the Patriots 4.5. Bill Barnwell would be saying, yeah, take the over for them, and these are via DraftKings Sportsbook. Don't know if I mentioned that. Commanders 6.5. Chiefs 11.5. So Barnwell would be all for taking that as well, and the Cardinals at 6.5. So Barnwell definitely would believe that the Commanders and Chiefs overs would hit. Now let's take a look at the 5 teams he expects to have less wins than the previous season, starting with a team that seems to use smoke and mirrors to finish over 500 or at least 500 every year. Of course, we know this stat. Mike Tomlin, all his years of coaching, has never finished under 500. But, you know, they're a team, I believe they were out yardage the first 9 games of last season and somehow went 6-3 over that time. I am a Giants fan who's not too high on them. Maybe I'm a little biased. I predicted 6 or 7 wins, but Barnwell is actually saying less than 6. I'm not really a believer in Daniel Jones, but I will say Malik Neighbors is definitely the best wide receiver he's had in his time with the team. So we'll see how that goes. Ravens had the best record in the NFL last season at 13-4. Um, he actually has three teams from the NFC North to finish with worse records. Already mentioned the Pittsburgh Steelers. He also has the Cleveland Browns on here as well. So, I'm guessing that he expects the Bengals to finish a little bit better than they did last season. Of course, they were without Joe Burrow for part of the year. And the Philadelphia Eagles, who struggle mightily to end the season, um, you know, I don't know if he necessarily believes that will continue, but he believes that there's still problems there. He mentioned that it's more on the defensive side. Of course, they added Saquon Barkley to the offense along with Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. Yes, they lost Jason Kelsey, but still have Lane Johnson and a couple other excellent pieces on the O line. Over unders for these five teams. Steelers 8.5. So they would need two less wins. Giants 6.5. So Barnwell would say take the under for them. Ravens 10.5. They would need three less wins than the previous year. That's a tough one. Eagles 10.5. Barnwell would be all for taking that under. One less win and they'd go under. Browns 8.5. They would need three less losses. Three less wins. So that's an iffy one. So again, if you're looking at over unders on DraftKings, Bill Barnwell isn't saying to take these, but going by what Bill Barnwell wrote in his article, he would be all for taking the Patriots and Chiefs overs for sure. And then he would be all for taking the Giants and Eagles unders. But what are your thoughts on Bill Barnwell's five teams he expects to improve and five he expects to decline? Again, his method works fairly well. 27-33. Let me do the math. That's 9 out of 11 he hits. That's 81.8%. That's a teacher in me figuring out percentages. It's, of course, not a foolproof method, but it works way more than it doesn't. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.